Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. We'll join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening. Is you Robert? Evening, Robert.
Evening, Ox. Evening, everyone listening.
Now, this is a big game, mate, yeah?
Oh, without question, mate. Particularly what's happened in the past 24 hours. Absolutely huge game tonight. Opportunity presents itself to not just close a gap, but also create a gap as well, given what's happened earlier this afternoon as well. So let's go and do the job tonight, first and foremost, before looking any further afield.
Can I just say something in that, with that game being cancelled, yeah?
Go ahead.
I think a few months back in the show, we talked about the state of Scottish football and the fixtures, etc. And I can't remember who was on this, but I think we predicted that if bad weather came in February, the season could turn into a farce.
Yep, you're right, mate. I think I was on for one of the shows where we discussed it, given the fact that Aberdeen had treacherous snow at the time, and obviously we had to travel up and they had to travel down the back-to-back games. And luck would have it today that they've had to call a game off for a waterlogged pitch for player safety. I don't think it was questioned back in the fixtures, was it?
No. What I'm saying is, they got it wrong, and you try to, and then where do you go, mate? Yeah? Lack of planning, foresight, and just no try to deal with the elements is just mental, in my opinion, in modern football. Anyway, enough about that. I believe you've got the team, mate, so let's hear it.
I do indeed, mate. Some interesting choices tonight. Tonight's team is Butland, Tavernier, Giga, Suter, Magoma, Raskin, Diamondi, Asgard, Moore, Gisama, and Miofsky. The substitutes are Kelly, Wright, Aarons, Romans, Chukwuani, Antman, Bairami, Skov Olsen, and Nadiri.
We got the Kilmarnock team as well, bro. Just we'll shout that out once, mate.
Yep. Rose, Larson, Sillett Brown, Dees, Thompson, Watson, Lyons, Polworth, Kilty, John Jules, and Anderson.
Some of the players seem to have been about forever, didn't they? Even though that boy Watson and all, he seems to have been about for a while. He's only a young man, but rumours that he was moving in the window, but it's no materialised. Right, we'll part them. We know they always give us a difficult game. Everybody tries to. Right, we'll start with our team. I don't think anybody got it. The 4 new signings are on the bench, yeah? Right, maybe no surprise that 2 of them, but we've not picked up on Fernandes, so we'll maybe hear for the manager. Sterling, I'm no surprised, mate. There was something in the socials today that he was going to be in Edmondson House. I'm no surprised that he's available, wasn't playing tonight, because I think they'll be managing his rehab. Hopefully that's what it is, mate, and no anything else has happened to the boy. And then we move on to Fernandes. Well, we like him, mate, and he'll be a loss tonight.
It certainly will, mate. His physical presence. It'd be interesting to hear Danny Rowe's comments on that one, because I don't think there was any kind of suggestion that he picked anything up at the weekend. I agree with your Sterling point as well. Managing the minutes, mate. You get 85 minutes on Sunday, so to take him out the squad tonight when you've got 2 other available right backs on the one on the pitch and one on the bench, it makes a bit of sense. Obviously, their form's questionable, but in terms of managing minutes for the long project, mate, the bigger picture, then it makes sense. And then obviously Chermiti as well. It'll be interesting to hear Danny's comments on that as well, mate, to see if there's anything niggling there, because that's a couple of games he's missed in a row now. I know he wasn't well previously, but I just wonder if there's something niggling away there.
Yeah, and the wide men, man, a lot of debate for him and Asgard, mate. But collectively, they've got to perform better than Sunday, yeah?
Aye, of course, mate. Listen, it's points over performance, but what we do need to see tonight is a bit more pace and urgency in the game. It was very lacklustre on Sunday, so we need to go out tonight and put on a more urgent performance to get goals. Now, listen, if it's 1-0 or 4-0, it's 3 points. That's the most important thing. But you want to see a bit of a better performance in the terms of application and urgency from the weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, it actually reminded me of you on the Sunday after I took you for a night out, mate.
Aye, some would say so. Some would say so. Lacklustre on a Sunday sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about that. But a lot of talking points in the team, mate. You can only play with the cards you're dealt. If somebody's injured or you're managing somebody back, and you know what you're doing, and you've been told what you've got to do. Yeah, and then this week, next Wednesday, win the games, mate. And after that, mate, it's one game a week. So some of these things don't come into play anymore, yeah?
Yeah, I suppose that's the silver lining, if you want to use that phrase, about no European football from here on in, is you can recover and rest players week by week once you've got the midway fixtures out the way. And that'll be quite an important thing going into the games that are coming up, mate. Recovery time will be crucial because it will be a whole squad effort between now and the end of the season. And we've brought players in that will give us quality, give us depth, so we need to use everybody when they're fit and available.
What do you make of the 4 new players been on the bench? Obviously, Chukwuemeka's played 3 games in a row, really. Sorry, no, he hasn't. He didn't play a European game, but he'd been involved in 3 domestic games in a row. Yeah. Olsen's not exactly hit the hair on fire. Romans, I'm glad to see him involved, mate, because we were short in the left back area, so I think that's good, and he might get some minutes tonight. And then my new signing, Big Ryan, Naderi, we'll call him Naderi. Really interested in seeing him. I mean, I've seen the pictures of him, mate. His build, I thought, Peter Crouch.
Aye, he's certainly, for a young boy, Ox, he's got the physical attributes. He looks strong, he looks powerful, and he's got the height. It's obviously a profile that Dan Reel's identified with all the signings. They've all got that kind of height and stature about them. And he spoke about the physical element that we were lacking. And you can clearly see that's what he's went to bring in this window. Looking forward to seeing them. Doesn't come as much of a surprise to see them all on the bench. I think, again, with Chukwuemeka and Skov Olsen, managing the minutes. Skov Olsen's not played a lot of football since November, trying to get up to speed. Chukwuemeka as well, just kind of adapting into that new league, new kind of teammates. Roman's just back from a knock. I expect him to get some minutes tonight, and then more so probably at the weekend in the cup game. I'm sure we'll see Nadiri at some point, mate. It wouldn't surprise me to see him on for maybe the last 30, 25 minutes.
Fair play. Aye, well, I think you used the term points over. Was it points over substance or result over substance? Yeah.
Points over performance.
Points over performance. Yes. And I think you've nipped it, nailed it right on the head, mate. Yeah. But however, we are looking for a bit of football tonight, mate. Yeah. You know, we've been poor in our last 2 domestic games, mate. Yeah. Football-wise, if we're honest. But it's all about winning, so I'm contradicting myself, brah.
Aye, of course, as supporters, you want to be excited. You want to be on the edge of your seat, seeing a dominant 90-minute performance where it's exciting football, you're blowing teams off the park. But at this current state of affairs, with the way the league's sitting, mate, and the way things have panned out, and as I said, in the last 24 hours, you take 3 points here tonight, regardless of performance, whether it's scrappy or dominating, it's still 3 points. And as I said at the start of the show, we close a gap, but we can extend a gap as well. So between the two other teams around us. So it's important to go out tonight with the attitude and the application and do enough to win the game, mate, first and foremost. And whether that's pretty or not at times, 3 points is the most important thing at the end of the day. As long as we come away with them, then we'll be happy.
Win the game first and foremost, and hopefully that score goals leads to more goals, hopefully, mate. Right, we'll go to the manager and we'll maybe get some clues about what's happened with some of our players. So get yourself in mute. We'll hear the manager and then we'll get the phone lines opened.
Danny, how do you view the challenge of Kilmarnock tonight? We expect a tough game today. I think opponent, they won the last game after a long period. They will be very motivated. The manager will be very motivated. Yeah, these games, it's always a tough one. But of course, we are very, we understand this game. We know what happens, what we have to do today. I think this is crucial. Great opportunity for us. Take the next 3 points. I think this is, a must win from our side. My players are motivated. Will be not easy. Will be sometimes a little bit a mess in this game. Yeah, with this long balls, second balls, a lot of fight. But if we can control all these things, then we have much more quality. And then it's about, and this was a big part after the Hibs game, we want to attack more the box from the opponent. We want to attack the last line. We want to break the last line more to create chances. And if we do this, then we have a great chance. And we have to organize our rest defense. We allowed, especially Hibs, too many transition moments against us.
Yeah, both Ryan and Tour on the bench for the first time. How big of a boost is that to you?
Yeah, very happy. I think for Tour was not so easy the last couple of weeks. He was really on fire. He wants to show. But now he's back in the squad. I think for Ryan the last 48 hours was massive. He is so exciting. You feel the fire in him. Yeah, he wants to show it straight. He wants to help the group. But it's also important that he gets the first impression today. And let's see what we can do today.
Yeah, no use of Dujon and Manny in the squad. Can you give us an update on them?
Yeah, not an easy one. By Dujon was clear. We have to manage him to come through the next games. To have a double game in 72 hours. It's too tough. That's the reason why we have to decide. We have to manage him. And by Manny and then Yusuf, unfortunately they're not available. Manny has a little bit, some small issues with the knee. I think he played a lot of minutes. It's tough. We missed him because he was really on fire. And Yusuf, got I think it was second half against Hibs. There was a bad foul against him. We have to. He has a big cut. We have to stitch him with 7 stitches, and it was not so easy. He cannot really walk at the moment. We have to say now, and we have to look from day to day. But I think we have still good players available. Again, we have to rotate. This is key. I think in this moment I have to make some decisions. I speak with some players about this, but I know we have a good team on the bench and a good start 11.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
We were spot on with Stirling, mate, yeah?
Yep, makes sense, mate. Total sense.
Aye, and just a bit of bad luck with other boys. Maybe the good time of, obviously, they might not be involved in Saturday, but hopefully ready for next Wednesday, mate, yeah?
That's the thing, it's just about being smart with managing the minutes. If they're not fit for tonight, or even if they're only half fit, don't risk them. Just keep them for when the games come thick and fast again, and give them this time to recover, because, as I said earlier, we're going to need them in the run-in. So, smart thinking by the manager. Just when he said there about the Chimity one, about the second half in Hibs, it just dawned on me, he never came off after that challenge. So, a bit of a weird one that he continued to play with a wound open. It's a bit surprising to hear.
Aye, obviously the time, but you know what it's like, you're caught up in the moment again, you take your sock off and all of a sudden, where'd that come from?
Nah, one of the new ones.
Then your leg becomes sore. You start limping, but you were just running about half an hour ago, you know?
Aye, adrenaline's wore off and you're sitting down, you're becoming stiff. But I know, just when he said about he caught one in the second half of the Hibs game, just realising it actually never came off on Sunday, so a bit surprised to hear that. But hopefully they recover well, mate, because as you said, they're not involved tonight. Don't imagine they'll be involved at the weekend and back ready for Wednesday.
Nah, here. And I think Stirling might start on Saturday, maybe half an hour or something, or maybe an hour, maybe. Sorry, half, or maybe an hour. And then maybe ready for Wednesday as well to be involved if they want them. And then all of a sudden, you've no get the games. It's sticking fast. But watch this space. So he ain't injured. It just made sense to manage his minutes. That's how he's able to do Edmondson House tonight, mate. Makes perfect sense to me.
It does. As I said, you've got options there. You've got Tav and you've got Aarons. I know their form's questionable, but you've got enough cover there that you can do without him for the game just to manage his minutes. In the long term of it, it makes sense because he will, for me, I think he'll be the kind of mainstay at right back for most parts of the remainder of the season when he's fit.
All right, mate. It's obviously we've been going for a wee while yet, and some people wouldn't have heard the team. If you don't mind, just the Rangers team this time, mate, and the substitutes.
Yep, Butland, Tavernier, Giga, Suter, Magoma, Raskin, Diamondi, Asgard, Moore, Gisama and Miofsky. Substitutes Kelly, Wright, Aarons, Romans, Chukwuani, Antman, Bairami, Skov Olsen and Naderi.
Are you surprised that Skov Olsen's come out the team, mate? What's your rationale?
No, I'm not really, mate, if I'm being honest. I think, again, he's not played a lot of games since November consistently. So, again, building up his minutes probably sees more. He's had 2 starts. It's an opportunity tonight to rotate and bring him on maybe for the last 30 minutes, just give him that in his legs. Maybe that helps him as well when the game could be a wee bit more open. Teams start to tire, he may be able to get the ball a lot quicker. If we pass the ball quicker, that is, of course, but he may be able to do more of an impact than he's done the past 2 games. I think it's just building up his minutes as well, mate.
Dimitri, same.
Chukwuani.
Chukwuani, sorry, Dimitri. Just him.
I think, given the fact we're at Ibrox, you've got Raskin and Diamondi in there. I think if we had Chukwuani in beside day 2, it would maybe look a wee bit more defensive minded. Whereas you bring Asgard in, I know he's got his critics and he's got to perform consistently and do some more at times, but it gives you that offensive look about it. I think if we had Chukwuani in there with Raskin and Diamondi, it would maybe look too defensive. They're quite kind of all similar attributes, defensive minded. As much as Diamondi and Raskin can get forward, I think it just kind of gives you a better balance. And then again, probably just adapting for him to come into the squad, into the realms of Scottish football, just managing minutes until he's fully up to speed yet again with the teammates as well.
Aye. Well, it's a difficult thing. You want new players to play and you want to see them, but it's all about the manager getting the little picture and the big picture right. That's management, mate.
That's the decisions you've got to make, mate. As a manager, you've got a team there that has showed that they can get wins on the board and go on runs, so winning games, getting points on the board, close gaps. So there's a good harmony there. When you bring players in, you've always got that potential of disrupting some harmony when you bring new players in, but you're bringing them in for a reason, to improve the squad. But you've got to find a balance, when to bring them in, who to play them with, and find that balance of who is then the strongest 11. Because you've got 4 new guys on the bench who could arguably all come in for 4 players that are starting tonight, and that could be your strongest 11. You just need to wait and see who fits well with somebody, where the chemistry and relationships are built, and go from there. So tough choices to make, but good choices, because you've now got options in every position.
As the problem is, you can make all these plans, mate. Somebody's unwell, somebody gets a cut in their leg fit, and all of a sudden your plans don't count anymore, mate. Yeah, they're gone. It's difficult, isn't it? It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is, myself included, mate.
No, it's not, but that's the realms of management. You've got to adapt to things that have sprung upon you, and that can be injuries or suspensions or anything at all. So you've always got to have more than one plan in your mind as a manager, and I'm sure Danny Rule over the time has showed that you can chop and change things, personnel, formations, and grind results out. We know Sunday was a disappointment, but we move on from it and we go tonight to get the 3 points at home.
Here. Asgard, mate, what's your take on him, mate? You're quite an honest guy. He's quite a straight guy. You don't get, like the manager, you don't get too high or too low. You're not overcritical of players, if I'm honest, mate. You're very fair in your maybe assessment. What's your take on him, mate?
He's certainly got qualities and potential there, Ox. It's just we've not seen the consistency of it. He showed moments and glimpses, but for a guy of his kind of quality that he has shown, you're expecting him, and I'm expecting him to do a wee bit more, particularly in the final third when we're struggling to break teams down. We're looking for him to be the guy who cuts the passing lanes, gets the ball through to the strikers, gets in the box and scores goals. I think if he adds that to his game, we've got a player there. At this moment in time, he's not done it consistently enough, though, and I think that's where the criticism still lies, because we've seen it in glimpses, but it's just over a consistent basis. Going forward, he's in the 10 tonight, I'd imagine. I think Mikey Moore's better in the 10 than Asgard, but if you move Moore in, then you're kind of looking at the left wing. Who's there? It would be Gassama, and again, he's had his critics. So it's a jigsaw for Danny Rule to try and figure out who is his most threatening and most impacting front four to go and get goals, get games, get assists.
Is the
But for me,
problem
Asgard
that
just needs to be consistency.
is the problem with Asgard and guys like Gassama? If it's not working for them in the creative side, that sometimes they're not involved or they don't put the graft in, whatever way you want to say it, mate. So then that's where the criticism comes, because it can't work for you every time. Trying to make things happen or making chances or scoring goals. It doesn't work for everybody, you know. So, but then you've got to put the basics in, yeah.
Aye, I think you're right, mate. I think when it isn't going that creative way, they're probably two players that maybe start having the petted lip, look disinterested, don't get involved in the game. Whereas you're wanting them to go and get the ball, create something. They've got ability to do it. They've just not done it. Whether that comes down to attitude or whether that comes down to tactics or information, you're just looking for the kind of players who've got creativity in their locker, a bit of flair to get the ball, take a game by a scruff of the neck and create chances, make something happen rather than expect something to happen.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. Because obviously we've been critical of both. You know, I'm no Asgard's biggest fan, but look, I know that he's got ability. You can't argue with that, mate. You cannot argue with it. I mean, that goal he scored against Dundee United, if that's in the World Cup in the summer, mate, you're saying that for decades, mate, if not forever. You know, it's just amazing bit of skill. But you have to do it consistently, mate, before you're classed as a good player. Eh?
Exactly, and that's where the frustration lies, because we can see he's got it in him. It is just doing it consistency. And to be fair, he's had a fair chance of amount of game time to show it. He is a player like Gassama that sometimes when it's not going well, they become passengers. And I don't like using that phrase, but sometimes you don't notice that they're on the pitch. So they need to be more involved, especially when things aren't going well. As I said, go and make something happen, create something out of nothing, rather than just expect things to happen. I think that's two players, Asgard and Gassama, that probably come into that bracket that just need to do more consistently.
Aye, that's fair enough, mate. That's fair enough. You know, because we've not scored a lot of goals as a team in the league, and we have to improve on that if you want to win more games. A clean sheet's great, mate, but to win games, you need to do both. Eh? Talking about people who always perform. We'll be joined by old Davy. Evening, David.
Evening, boys. Evening, Robert. Evening,
Evening,
all
David.
the YouTube chat boys. It's good chat tonight. I was just putting a few. The team is a bit concerning for me. A couple of them withdrawals. I never seen them coming. My main concern was, I put it on the chat tonight as well. Where's the goals coming from? You know, hopefully, like somebody says to anybody, which is the normal reaction, but just as long as they hit the back of that. But it's a hard one to call. What?
That was a good answer, wasn't it?
No, it's I'm very confident, and it's massive. The way Everton's ran, I've said that last week, and everybody was thrown in the towel. We're thrown in the towel, and I says to them, "There's a lot of twists and turns to come yet, and it's starting already. But get this over the line, and we're right in there."
Aye, I couldn't agree more. Robert?
Aye, evening, Davey. You make a good point, mate, about where's the goals coming from. But you look back at the games, we had that 8-game winning run. In those games, we scored 28 goals. And believe it or not, that our main man, Chermiti, only scored 2 of their goals. So there is goals in the team. I think we just don't see it as often enough with some regular scorers. But there is goals in the team. But we need to make the right decisions in the final third to create the chances to score the goals. He's picked a team tonight that he thinks is the best to go and do that. I think we will do it tonight. I don't think it'll be the prettiest game again, but I think we'll do enough to get by. But you're right, mate. Big opportunity tonight just to close that gap in Hearts, and obviously with their game being postponed, create pressure on them that we have points on the board rather than games in hand. So I think any supporter would take the points over games in hand any day as well. So another opportunity, mate. And I know Sunday we look at back and we go, it's 2 points dropped, but suddenly a win tonight, we're in a better position than we were on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Aye, it's remarkable, David. We win the night, we're 3 points behind the leaders, mate. And if we can get a few goals, and I'm not being ridiculous, I don't want 6, 7 or 8, but 2 or 3, maybe even if you finish them off and get a fourth, mate, you've really closed our goal difference up, which was a factor before, mate. And you're buoyant. And if you think where we were, it's just mental, Davey. As I said, when we got it back to 4, well, how have we done that for where we were? And now all of a sudden, if we win the night, mate, it's back to 3. And all right, we'll be frustrated about Sunday, but you're right, we can't change it.
No. The thing is, there's a lot of heavy games coming up. As I said last week, there's still a lot of twists and turns, but it's actually in our hands. If we win the night, we've got a great chance of doing it. But what I'm concerned about tonight as well, apart from scoring the goals, is the crowds are going to be the 12th man tonight. We're going to get up there and get right into them and keep on to them. You know, Ibrox is famous for starting off with a roar and ending up with a whimper. We can't do that tonight. Things are not going great. You've still got to keep roaring them on. It's the only way to get us over the line. That's just my opinion on that, guys.
I get it, mate. I get it. They both need each other, mate. Obviously, the team can get the crowd going and the crowd can help get the team going, Robert, yeah? But it's a chicken and the egg, innit?
You hit the nail on the head there, mate. The team's got to give the fans something to shout about and cheer about as well. But we know how powerful and how influential the support can be, particularly not just for us to drive forward, but also for opponents to put the nerves on them for us to hopefully capitalise on the pitch. So the crowd, as you said, Davey, always been known as a 12th man. We're going to need the support right from now until the end of the season. They've been good since Danny Rule came in. They've been fabulous at times travelling away in Europe as well when things haven't been going well. So it is about now a whole team effort. Danny said it in an interview yesterday. One team, but that includes the players, the staff, but also the support. We're all in it together, mate. We're all driving for success. So let's start with that tonight.
Yeah, Robert, could you just go over the subs again, please, if you don't mind?
Certainly, mate. It's Kelly, Wright, Aarons, Romans, Chukwuani, Antman, Bairami, Scove Olsen, and Naderi. 2 keepers on the bench. Kelly and Wright are the 2 substitute keepers. Just in case anybody thought it was Scott Wright.
Oh, easy, Tiger. Easy. Yeah. See, when I seen that headline, Scott Wright comes back to Scottish football, my heart sank for a minute. I don't. It wasn't the worst, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. I can understand why we signed him, mate. Fast and quick, potential, just never worked. Couldn't believe he's 28 now.
Sorry for laughing. I'm just thinking what you It's just the thing that you used to say. His hair's never out of place. That just came out of my thoughts. Yeah, good God. Anyway, sorry.
See that day, sat next to me in Southside, it's the centre stand at Hampden, mate. I thought I was going to have to take Southside to the first aid. We couldn't believe it. Ah, dear. I will. Wish him best in his move, mate. Nothing against the boy, no. Know what I mean? Just, but it did give me palpitations, But we move on. Maybe, what do you think? You looking forward to seeing the new boy tonight? Cameo, maybe?
I look forward to seeing everybody. I just think, when you're talking about Scott Olsen, I see that a lot of people go on my case about it, but he's only played 2 games. But as far as I think I'm a good judge of what a character and where people are at fitness wise, and you could see he wasn't up to that. And nothing against the guy, and we're at a point where we can't afford to have players like that to give them game time. You've got to hit the road running now. You know, and we brought a player in there, and don't know about the other guy, Chibani, or whatever his name is, where his standard is, but he must be all right if he's playing away. But I think taking a risk with Scott Wilson was that bit risky, but it'll probably come good. But it's just not a time to try and test players, you know what I mean?
No, you're right, Davey. You expect players to come in January that can hit the ground running. Obviously, if you look at Scott Wilson, I think his last appearance was in November, but that was only a 3-minute spell. The last time he played almost a 90-minute match was the 13th of September. So he's not played a lot of football in that time. Yes, he's had injuries, but listen, it's a January window. We always expect players to come in and hit the ground running. That's the expectations at the club and the supporters. But realistically, the guys that you bring in, 9 out of 10 times aren't they playing regular football. That's why they're moving on. Chuck Ruani's a bit different. He's played regularly, as has Naderi. But I think Scott Wilson managing those minutes back after a long kind of period out with injury before he came to us. In a few weeks, mate, I think, and I hope you'll see the full potential in him.
Yeah. Are you saying minutes a night, starting Saturday or Sunday, and then see where you are next Monday, whether you're up for selection against Motherwell? Is it as simple as that for you?
I wouldn't say it's as simple as that, but that would be my thinking going forward. Right,
okay. I think your point, Davey. I think we're pretty straight, mate. I don't know if he's looked the fittest, so we've known a lot of him. If you're being honest, if he was an established player, you'd have been saying he was poor in his 2 performances, Davey, if we're honest.
Yeah. I mean, we gave a cracking wee boy away down to Kilmarnock, and he was been playing all season there enough. No regular, but you could see what he's got, and then you see what that guy's got. And that boy went to Kelly. To me, he's miles in front of where that guy is at the moment. So, well, that's on the manager, that one.
Aye. Again, I think it's big picture, little picture. You know, he wasn't getting much minutes, Finlay, and then all of a sudden he got a couple of performances, made things happen against Annan. I know it's only Annan. Made things happen against Porto because it was his cross. Let's be honest, it was his cross that made the goal. So he's one of the players, Finlay, that things happen when he's on the pitch. I quite like him as well, mate. I'll be interested to see how he develops and where he ends up playing. And what I mean, is he going to be a wide man or is he going to develop into a forward? You know, so watch your space. But I think they've looked little picture, big picture. He needs to kick on. So maybe send him down there to get some minutes, you know, more minutes, and hopefully develop and come back in the summer ready to do our pre-season and move on a wee bit and be more mature and more physically ready. I don't know if he's unphysically ready, if there is such a word as unphysically ready, but watch this space. I get it. I understand some people's frustration, but I think the manager maybe made the deal before the if we done A or B or C, he could go, and so when Olsen came in, he went, and it's so he plays minutes. But look, only time will tell, and we really wish Finlay all the best because he is one of us, and we want him playing. But I get your point, Davey, that he showed more than Olsen has. Nobody could argue with that. But watch this space for both of them, Robert.
Aye, exactly. Listen, I see the logic as well in the Finlay Curtis move. For me, it makes sense then to get him that experience and more game time than what he's probably guaranteed with us. And he's going down to Kilmarnock with Neil McCann and Billy Dodds, who have worked with him obviously tail end of last year as well. So they'll know what he can bring and what they can bring to his game. And if he kicks on, he's back in the Summer Rocks as well. It's just experience, and as you say, moves up a level. Maybe bulks out a wee bit more than he has, because he's looked a wee bit more bulkier over the last few months as well, and he can give us an option in the summer to see where he's at and where we're at. Same with Scove Olsen. The loan deal's there to the summer. There is the option, but he's got to do the business first and foremost between now and the summer for us to even think about planning ahead. So it'll be interesting to see where they both end up, if they're both for the club next season or if Pastures go elsewhere.
Yeah,
Aye,
agree with
what's-
that. Well, sorry.
Aye. No, I agree with both of you. I think the point, and I think the people are saying they shouldn't have went. I understand their full rationale, because Finlay does make things happen, but I understand what the manager's trying to do, and maybe he's trying to develop the player long term, not just short term, with more minutes under his belt, you know. But he's not there just now, so we can't worry about it to the end of the season, mate, and hopefully it works out for young Finlay, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
You know. But right. How do you think it's going to go tonight then, Robert?
I expect us to dominate large parts of the game, ball possession. Scoreline, I was thinking about 2-0, but I'm now going to go for a 3-0 victory, mate. I think we'll start well. We'll get a goal in the first half, and then second half we'll probably not ease back, but we'll control possession, and then we'll get kind of 2 goals later on just to see off the time it.
Right, and who's getting these goals? Because I know you like to go with that as well.
Right, I put him in the spot. I think Miofsky gets one. I think he needs one as well. Diomande. And I'll go for, from the bench, Ryan Naderi.
Good.
There you go, huh? Big Derry, yeah?
Paul's at there, yeah, very good.
Yeah, when they put him in, you know, they put him in the wall, we'll move it to one side, we'll guard that Derry, yeah?
Correct.
But aye, listen, mate, I hope you're right. That would be great. I'm looking for us to win both halves, Davey.
Yeah. That's not been happening that way, but is it?
No, I'm just looking for us to win both halves, yeah?
Yeah. Well,
And
I
I
was
would
just
like us
saying.
to win.
Sorry.
No, I'd like us to win both halves 2-0, yeah? Bang, done.
Yeah. I'll go for that.
You know? Go on, David.
I
What
fancy
do you
me,
think?
I fancy me Murray scoring tonight. Sorry for interrupting. I fancy me Murray to get a goal winning. I fancy
You
me
like
Murray
Moore, Davey?
scoring tonight. I think
Do you like Moore?
I think he's got great potential. See, when he came on against Hibs, that was the only time we looked if we had any energy. Because that team was as flat as a pancake. And that boy doesn't play that type of game. And that's what was wrong when he first started to get a game. That, I was going to swear there. Martin played him on the wrong positions and Rose gave him a bit of a, you go where you want to go, son. And he's got the ability. He showed it against Celtic. He showed it against quite a lot of teams. I think he's got great potential, that boy. For his age, he's got great potential.
All right, watch this space. Hopefully he flourishes the next few weeks he's with us. And you never know what will happen in the future. Never know. You know, but I know he's got a big reputation down south. I think he's shown some tremendous touches. I'm not quite with some people. I don't know if he's a 10, but watch this space, mate, because he's definitely got talent. I get why you play him as a 10, or you think he's a 10, because he does go both ways, Robert.
I think he's just got that football intelligence, mate, to pick up wee pockets of space, drive with the ball, and drag players into his position. It attracts defenders. He can be a threat. So for me, when he's in that 10, it's just as David said, a free role, just go and play, get the ball, dictate things, and rather than being stuck out in the left, because you know what he's going to do almost. He's got to come inside. Whereas in the 10, he's got the license to just roam and create something.
Aye, I get it, mate. You go both ways, aye, and you've got that license, you know. Wingers, you're tied to. You've not got the same opportunities or the same variation to go both ways sometimes, you know. I know the gas man, he prefers to go inside. You know, I like when players mix it up, Davey. I don't like one-trick ponies, yeah. I get that if you're limited, but professional, you've got to be able to go both ways. I know you swing both ways, David, but that's a whole different story.
I'm afraid when you get to 77, you can't get on the swing. You got to get plenty up. Oh, God. That's when the way he shouted at me, "Hey, Papa, you want to get in the shit?" I went, that's not going to happen. I can't even get up the stairs to get in it. Anyway, I tell you what, Moore, see Moore, folks. Moore reminds me a lot of David Cooper. He's got that swagger. He's got the take them the wrong way, get the ball. He's no scared. He gets mucked in as well. I mean, Cooper didn't. You wouldn't see Cooper heading a ball, but he done it. But I just see that in the boy Moore. I think that's where his potential lies.
I think what we forgot with Moore, and you know, we forgot when he came into our team, he was 17. You know, I know people say age isn't a barrier, but you know, playing against experience, sometimes you need you've got to learn. You've got to learn, don't you? You know, but wish him all the best. I don't dislike Mikey Moore. You know, right? Last word for your good self, David.
Aye, thanks for taking the call as usual. Best show in town, and you, Robert, and yourself. And here's hoping. I'm not even hoping. I'm confident we'll win tonight, but I just don't want it to be a squeaky bum shot. So let's get in there and tell the guys that are going to the game, get right into them guys and keep believing. Thanks, Ox. Catch you later. Hope we're as happy at full time. Good night.
Here, mate. Here. I'm always happy when you're on, David. Robert, last word.
Just for me on, mate. Looking forward to the game. As David said, hopefully just to win the game. That's all it counts tonight. Just go and win the game.
Here. Could not agree more. Win the game and hopefully with a bit of swagger. Listen, thanks to Davey for joining us, Robert for doing the show. Of course, our Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Thanks for listening. We'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle, celebrating the Rangers victory. Take it away, Old School Blue.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the starry capes and I've heard the 40s roar. I've climbed the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea. But there's a sea back home in Scotland